Hey guys, EC Network here, coming at you with another video. So there's a pretty big gap in the classic continuity of Ben 10's timeline. More specifically, what exactly happened to Ben between the original series and Alien Force? We know that at some point between the ages of 10 and 15, Ben decided that he wanted to remove the Omnitrix, and he does so with what is described to us in Alien Force as a very difficult method. But we don't know anything else other than that. We do have the Omniverse flashbacks, and there are episodes and certain scenes in certain episodes where we see 11-year-old Ben still having the Omnitrix. So we know at that point he still has it. So at some point between the ages of 11 and 15, he decides that he wants to remove it. And this is an era or time period that is pretty much unexplored. Like I said, there's nothing in the official timeline that we know. The creators haven't really, to my knowledge at least, said anything about this. And so I think it would be pretty cool to see a show basically taking place between original series and Alien Force, so a sequel to the original series of Ben 10. Basically just Ben as an 11-year-old or 12-year-old or whatever age he decides to remove the Omnitrix, just showing us why he decided to remove it. So then we have basically the entire story thus far of Ben 10 complete. Because right now that is a pretty big gap in the story that we just really don't know anything about. As to what this show would be about, I just think basically a classic Ben 10 original series 2.0. Just pretty much follow up the original series with a similar tone. And then I would say, just one-off episodes you could have. Just, Ben going on adventures with Grandpa Max and Gwen. And that's pretty much it, honestly. It would just be basically an original series 2.0, which I know a lot of fans want to see them bring back the original series. And I think that's a way that they could do so. I do think, though, at a certain point, it's going to kind of have a tone shift. As opposed to having these one-and-off type episodes, it's going to eventually have to all tie together with Ben wanting to remove the Omnitrix, and we're going to have to, at that point, get very serious. Maybe Ben's just like seeing how dangerous it is, and he's like, you know what? Maybe let's just, for argument's sake, say he's 13 years old. He's like, geez, I wish I could really just start high school normally. I wish I didn't have this watch where there's always these bad guys coming after me. I just want to live a normal high school life. And that's at the point where he decides, I'm going to remove the Omnitrix. I don't want to have anything to do with this again. I think that would be interesting. Or we could even say, who's to say that there isn't an event, a specific event that causes him to remove it? Let's say maybe Vilgax attacks or something of the sort, or some other alien attacks, and Grandpa Max almost dies. And Ben's like, you know what? My family, my grandpa, he almost got killed. For my family's sake, it's safer for me to remove the Omnitrix and just go back to being a normal kid. Who knows? We honestly have no idea why he did it, as opposed to, we just know that he wanted to go back to a normal life, but we don't know why, what exactly happened for him to come to that conclusion. As opposed to new characters and aliens, I'm sure that's a question that some of you guys have. Oh, DC Network, if they're doing a show between the original series and Alien Force, they can't really introduce any new aliens of Ben's, because why didn't we see them later on? And to that I say, why couldn't they? I don't think they would go crazy with it. I think you could introduce maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5, and then just say, later on, just Ben never used them. In Omniverse, for example, he never used Jetray, he never used Chameleon, Fast Track, and Spitter has never been used actually in the entirety of the original Ben 10 continuity. As of Ultimate Alien, we know that Ben has Spitter, but it was never used before. So who's to say that we can't have 3 to 4, maybe even 5 aliens that Ben had as an 11, 12, 13-year-old that he just never used for the rest of the original timeline? Maybe even Spitter is one of those aliens. Maybe he unlocked Spitter at the age of 11 and we just never saw him use it. We already have feedback. They added feedback in Omniverse, and they said Ben had him as an 11-year-old and then he never used him again until Omniverse. So why can't they just do that and make some story reason as to why he didn't use them? Or, quite frankly, you can just say he just never wanted to use them again. Just because Ben has 150 aliens doesn't mean he's going to use every single one all the time. So you could just say, yeah, Ben just didn't use those 5 aliens because he just didn't feel like it. Or maybe there's a story reason behind it as well. As I was editing this, one other thing that came to mind that I wanted to add is this. You guys might be wondering, hey, DC Network, what is the likelihood that something like this would happen in the future. And quite frankly, out of anything, I think there's actually a decent chance something like this could happen. The reason why is because a couple of reasons. Number one, 10-year-old Ben, the original series, was the most popular out of all the series that they've ever made. That is partially why they decided to reboot him now and have another 10-year-old Ben, because that's when the ratings were the highest. Secondly, Man of Action has been on the record saying that they think Ben is most interesting when he's 10 years old because he doesn't know what he's doing with the Omnitrix. And they have said, at least Duncan Rolu has said, that Ben, as a 10-year-old, they thought they moved on from him too quickly and moved on to Alien Force, growing him up too quickly because the network wanted them to. So this would be something that, one, the network would just love because, hey, this is going to get us a lot of views. And number two, the creators have said they wanted to spend more time with young Ben, so this would be a way for them to do so. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below if you guys would want to see a series like this that would fill in the gaps between the original series and Alien Force. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.